Welcome back, and I'm talking to David Sprague from Ag for Life, and we've been talking about farm safety and some of the community initiatives, certainly in the rural communities, but more so, I think, I was out recently, yesterday actually, working with ATCO doing some safety video, and what I noticed is the people that are on the ground dealing with the producer and doing the safety training and the safety work are producers themselves. So they're really in touch with the community, and that's great to see. And I think one of the key things that I think our viewers like to know is a little bit more about why the founders want to be part of the community and what this whole model of Ag for Life looks like, and how you execute those programs.
Yeah. Well, let's first of all mention who our founders are. So their names that you'll certainly recognize. It's Agrium, it's ATCO, it's ATB Financial, Penn West Exploration, TransCanada Corporation, UFA, and thousand of their employees that actually work in and live in the rural communities. So they're very recognizable names. From the Ag for Life model point of view, one of the things that's very important to Ag for Life and our founders is that they give back to the communities in which they work and live. And it's important that our founders are viewed as being good neighbors, as good citizens. They work quite closely with the farmers and ranchers and the rural communities out there. And so obviously there's a connection, a collaboration there, and they want to make sure that they are supporting those communities as best they can.
And I noticed that you have some of your programs devoted exactly to that in terms of helping communities with their own safety programs and helping them fund what they're doing in their rural areas. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the important things when we look to fund programs is we try to find programs that are scalable, that are impactful, that make a difference. But one of the key things in terms of promoting the quality of the programs is the sustainability of it. And a lot of good programs out there aren't sustainable. You'll see programs that have come and gone. And they come and go because of either financial reasons, they just simply don't have enough money to do the good things they want to do, or perhaps it's human resources or something like that. So what Ag for Life tries to do is to come in and make those programs sustainable. Mm-hmm. So we try to make good programs great, and we try to take programs that are local and share them across the province. And in that way, we build high-quality, results-oriented program that can be sustained in the community by these local community groups.
So you're not trying to reinvent what they're doing in the community. You want to take those ideas and leverage it. But you have invented something. It's called the Little Green Thumbs program. Well, tell us about that.
Well, the Little Green Thumbs program, quite honestly, even that, we didn't reinvent the wheel on that. It was a program that was quite successful in Saskatchewan, and we looked at it and we said, if it's doing so well in Saskatchewan, why isn't it in Alberta? Mm-hmm. And where we have great opportunity to educate children around where their food comes from. So we've signed a licensing agreement with the group in Saskatchewan to bring that program here. And our first endeavor was to support the program out of Edmonton, where we were reaching probably about 35 schools at that point. But in terms of it being a scalable model, where, as I mentioned, taking a good program and making it great, or a local program that we could take province-wide, this is a really good example of that. So we went out and we looked for local community organizations, we call them host organizations, where they could start to deliver Little Green Thumbs in their communities. And so what started as about 35 schools in Edmonton, this year is probably going to be something like 120 schools throughout Alberta. And we sense that this is the tip of the iceberg. The demand for this program is incredible, and it's because it's very engaging, it's hands-on, the children learn, they have fun, mm-hmm. and that's a good part of it. So the demand right now is actually exceeding our ability to deliver it.
Oh, fantastic. Now, we talked a little bit before the break about educating youth and children about where our food comes from. Is that primarily an urban focus, or are you still also working with rural youth in that regard?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think everybody has a sense that as time goes by, everybody's becoming less connected to the farms, mm-hmm. That first-hand knowledge. And I would say that's very true with urban children, but I would also say it's also true with urban adults. And interestingly enough, just because you live in a rural area doesn't necessarily mean you understand farming and ranching. So our work continues into those rural communities as well, because we think that they need to know where their food comes from. And I think importantly, the opportunities that are represented by occupations that are coming out of the agricultural sector. And I think about this, and I think there's a misconception that if you want to be in agriculture, you have to be the person growing the food. Well, we believe that if you like science, if you like technology, if you like communication, if you like finance, and so on, there's a role for you in agriculture.
So you're really encouraging a career path in agriculture as much as possible.
Absolutely, and I think it's really important that people understand that when you live in a world where the population will be 9 billion people by the year 2050, and we're not making any additional land base, and yet we're going to have to find a way to feed these people. Innovation is going to come out of that sector, and I would encourage children, these children today that are 10 and 12 years old, in the blink of an eye, they're going to be 25 years old, and they're going to be leaders, and they need to take advantage of those opportunities.
Absolutely. And, Dave, thanks for being on the show today. It's been very interesting to find out about farm safety and what your founders want to do with it, and also talking about educating youth in what's going on in agriculture, making that a career. So we look forward to talking with you again, having you on the show again, and we will see you between the windmills and the wire on This Country Called Agriculture.